when you get injured, you want to report that. And if your employer won't take the report, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you send the employer a letter and you send it certified mail. And the reason that you do that is because that way they definitely will get, you'll have a receipt, but you've definitely reported the injury. And the reason that that's important is because at some future point, the employer could turn around and say, oh, no, you never reported that. And then the insurance company says, oh, yeah, you never reported that. And then what happens is, then they say, oh, well, it must be because of something else. So you always want to report your injury. Even if you don't think it's going to be a big deal, that's fine. But you want to report it because then later on you want to protect yourself so you have the ability to go and see a doctor if you think that later on the condition is getting worse, where you want to, where you have to. So that's first. The second the second important thing is to always make sure that you are confirming what you're making. But you want to make sure of what your wages are. I'll interview people and it always amazes me. I say, so how much you make? And they'll be like, I don't know. Or I think I make, and, we're all sort of like that, but you want to make sure that you're getting paid correctly if you're out of work, right? So that's critical. So in order to do that, you got to know how much your gross weekly wage is. And if you work overtime, that gets included in the mix. So you got to make sure that we're averaging the correct gross weekly wage so that you can get paid correctly if you're out of work. And remember, when you get hurt at work, by law, you're entitled to receive medical treatment. If you're out of work for more than 7 days, you get paid temporary disability or workers' comp. And then you're entitled to receive an award, a dollar award for your injury. So those are the three basic things that you get. So it's important to always remember that you got to know how much you're making in the gross weekly wage so that you can get paid correctly if you're out of work. In terms of timing, you always want to know this. From the time that I'll get a call from a client who indicates to me that they are done treating, the average case will only take about 9 to 12 months to resolve. That is, of course, unless you work for the city of Trenton, and these days those could take up to 2 years because still they're completely dysfunctional. And hopefully with the new election and the new city council people, that will change. But for the most part, they have been dysfunctional, and we're actually just almost having trials on every single case from the city of Trenton these days. So, but the average time from the time that you're done treating, and I'll explain why that's important, is 9 to 12 months. The reason that that's important is because there's no term to how long you can receive treatment for. You could be getting treatment for a year or 2 years or 6 months or whatever. There's no term to that. So as long as you have a doctor that they're taking you. But the important part is to know that when you're done treating, so that is when you're all done with the doctors, then the average case will take 9 to 12 months to resolve.